Hello everyone, I'm really excited to walk you through a new feature that we have in Vottiv, and that's the ability to run a poll directly from your Vottiv account. So anyone who's run a poll in the past knows how important the results of polls are in making campaign decisions, because it really helps you get into the minds of your voters to know how you can adjust your strategy to get the most votes and to get the most people out on election day. So to run a poll, what you'll do from your account home, you'll come over here to the left-hand side where it says polling. And on this page, we'll see a few different options. So you can create a poll, you can view your active polls, and then you can also see your archive polls as well. Something really cool that I think that we have here is you can learn about polling. So this page walks you through exactly how Vottiv's polling works, helps you answer any questions that you may have. Something that I want to touch on here is understanding stratified random sampling. So basically, the way that the sampling works is the samples are sent to subgroups of the population to make sure that there is a proportional representation of all the people in a given population, so that your results are the most accurate. The next piece that I want to cover as well is understanding the margin of error. So basically the margin of error, if it's plus or minus 4%, it means that if your poll shows 52% support, then the true support level is in between plus or minus 4% of your result there. And so the greater the sample size, the less of a margin of error that you will have. So those are some really important things to note before we get into polling. And then I highly recommend that you come read this page here. It'll give a lot of insight into polling. All right, so to create a poll, you'll just hit create poll, and you'll need to give the poll a name. So in this case, we'll do Utah County traffic priorities, because we want to find out if residents. All right, so then once we have that basic information, we'll need to put in our poll question. So if you've already built a survey that you'd like to use as a poll, you can come in here and select the survey. We also have this great new feature where you can generate the questions with AI. So the AI will review this basic information to generate the questions. So we hit generate questions. All right, let's see what it says. It says, if local officials could pursue only one of the following projects first to reduce traffic between I-15 and Western Utah County, which would you prefer they prioritize? All right, and that accurately represents the information that we put in. So I will be using this question here. You can, if it's not what should be represented, you can either adjust this basic information, or you can hit regenerate, or if you just don't like the wording, you can hit regenerate. But we will just go ahead and hit next. Now we have the questions done. And then we will need to select a group. So this is a voter group that you've already built. And then we want to do voters in Utah County. Those are the people that are most important to us. So it looks like the total number of voters in Utah County is 355,000. And then it says the voters with cell phones is the total number of voters with cell phones is 277,000. So it looks like 78% of voters have a cell phone. And so then this is where we can determine the sample size. Like I mentioned, the greater the sample size, the smaller the margin of error. But you can also see how many people will be sent to, and then the cost. So kind of give you a good idea. Obviously, if we're sending it to 100%, 100% of the sample, then it's going to be a little bit more expensive. But if we're sending it to 1% of the population, it may not be as representative. But it'll be a little bit cheaper. So I'm going to just do a medium sample size, about 25%. I can see here that the margin of error will be 2%, which is plus or minus 2%, which is pretty good. And so the cost, it shows me the cost here, and then the expected responses. So this obviously can vary, but this is kind of what we anticipate receiving a response back to. So you can read a little bit more about the polling methodology and what that will look like here. So you can see if we're estimating a 4.5% response rate, we're likely to receive about 4,000 responses there. All right, so we'll go to the next page here, and this will be kind of the last page before payment, where you can just review everything, make sure everything looks good. So you can see the poll summary, the name, the percentage of the group that you're sending it to, the group you're targeting, the cost. You can also see a message preview. So you can see the text messages that people will be getting, and then you can also hit regenerate. So it's really quick for voters to fill out the poll. All they need to do is click on this link, and then they'll be able to answer that question. All right, and then the last part is just the payment method. So you can either use campaign credits that you've already uploaded to your account, or you can purchase using credit card. And then so you'll hit launch poll, and then for us it'll go right to a Stripe payment because that's what we have it selected, and so it'll take us to that page to pay, or it will go just launch the poll because it'll use your campaign credits. So it's really simple to run a poll in Vottiv. Please let me know if you have any questions. We're really excited about this feature, and so we hope that a lot of campaigns find it useful. Again, let me know if you have any questions in the comments, but good luck running your first poll.